Desiree Barringer-Carton with the American Cancer Society, and it's my pleasure to welcome those of you here live with us here today, as well as those of you who are watching online. We are here in Los Angeles for the first stop of our coast-to-coast journey to celebrate March Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. We're here live in Los Angeles at Smashbox Studios, and it's also International Women's Day, so we want to empower you, to get screened. So we are so excited. We've got some wonderful special friends who'll be joining us later today, such as country music singer Craig Campbell, Telemundo star Cheeky Baby, and many others. But first, I'm thrilled to introduce my co-host today, Dr. Richard Wender, Chair of the NCCRT and Chief Cancer Control Officer for the American Cancer Society. Hi there, Rich. As well as Angie Davis, President of Fight Colorectal Cancer. Hi there, Angie. Thanks for joining us. We're so excited to be here. And if you guys watching on Facebook Live, make sure to like us. Make sure to use those hashtags, hashtag 80x2018, hashtag CRC Coast to the Coast. That's the number 2. And we also have this wonderful hashtag share your screen. We'll tell you about all the wonderful, exciting momentum that's going on around this campaign. Can you believe we're finally here?
It is
After
awesome.
4 years, it's amazing. So before we dig in and talk to you guys and get your wonderful thoughts on Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, you will remember from last year's show that Luke Perry, yes, that Luke Perry, joined us to share his own passion for defeating the disease. Unfortunately, his shooting obligations with his show Riverdale stole him away from us this year, and he's in Canada, but he cares very deeply about the cause and about all of you watching, so he did send a quick video to share. Take a look.
Hey guys, it's Luke. I can't be with you right now because I'm at work, and yeah, I'd rather be there. I hope that Yep, thanks for everything you're doing. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to help out. Stay strong.
That's so funny. That was his Riverdale colleague there kind of photobombing him, Archie, right, a.k.a. AJ. So again, thank you so much, Luke, for, we missed you. We're sorry you can't be here, but thank you so much for being a great advocate for the cause. We really, really appreciate it. So now on to our show. So we want to talk to you, Rich. I mean, it's the start of March National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and we talked about this, the momentum 4 years later when this initiative started, and it started spreading the word, globally with the campaign, the hashtag 80x2018. All these organizations coming together with the roundtable, the CDC, Fight Colorectal Cancer, Mayo Clinic, so many others. I mean, hundreds, right, across the campaign and across the pond. And then we have also this other initiative that started, share your screen, just to spread the word. Hashtags, all these. We want you guys to send all these hashtags and like us on Facebook Live. Can you believe it's finally here?
It's amazing. Listen, we make a big deal about every March National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. But let's be clear, guys. This is March of 2018 in our 80x18 campaign. So this has a very special meaning, and being here in LA with all of these amazing partners, and we always say hundreds, but let's be clear here. We have over 1,600 organizations who've signed our 80x18 pledge to make this happen.
Which is incredible, and we could not do it without any of them. Angie, I mean, can you believe it? We were just saying, I mean, it's exciting, and each year we say, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Are we going to reach those goals? Talk to us about what it means to be here today.
Oh gosh, it means so much. We are honored to be here. We are around the table with NCCRT and ACS and so many other partners the day we brainstormed around 80% by 2018, and you said it's a lofty goal, but we got to set a high bar. And I'm so proud that Fight CRC can be a part of this movement, really partnering because we're stronger together.
No question.
And it's played such a key role, all these partners, and you, Fight CRC. Rich, along with your role at the American Cancer Society, you're also chair of the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable, started by the American Cancer Society and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, known as the CDC, which launched the initiative that we want people who are 50 and older to get regularly screened for colorectal cancer. Why is this so important, and why do we have to keep the momentum going beyond 2018 and make sure that people are spreading the word on social media using those hashtags?
Angie, I thought, touched on something really critical to this. I always remind people that the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable, and as you said, we started with CDC and ACS, came together close to 20 years ago now. But we recognized that the time not only was right, but there was an urgent moment where we needed to say, we got to push harder. We have all the tools. We know how to get it done. The evidence is there. So we set this very lofty goal, announced at the National Press Club in March of 2014, to push screening rates all the way up to 80%. We're going to be talking through the show today about what it takes to get it done and showing that it can be done. So it's been remarkable. What a joy, what a humbling privilege it's been for me personally, but really for all of our organizations to join together to do something amazing.
Yeah, every year that we come together for a broadcast like this and see each year how it keeps growing and the difference they've made in their communities, it's really wonderful to see. If you're just joining us now, we are live in Los Angeles at Smashbox Studios, to kick off Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and we are very excited. Please make sure you like us. Please use the hashtags 80x2018. We want to keep that momentum going, and we have several hashtags out there. Also, hashtag share your screen campaigns. So, Rich and Angie, as we kick off this month, talk to us about what are the 3 things that most people want to know about colorectal cancer.
The most important fact to remember is that colorectal cancer is the 3rd leading cause of cancer-related death in men, 3rd in women. When you combine the men and women together, this is the 2nd leading cause of cancer-related death in the United States, but it does not need to be. We have proven ways to not only find cancer early when it is far more curable, but even more motivational is the fact that this is a cancer we prevent by finding precancerous polyps and remove them. And I also say, it's a life-changing experience to be a colorectal cancer survivor, and we're going to celebrate many of them today. It is not a life-changing event to be a polyp survivor. Get rid of the polyp, never hear the words you have colorectal cancer. And so this is a disease that does not need to be number 2. Let's knock it off the perch.
Right, when you hear those statistics, they're alarming, but it doesn't have to be like that.
Correct.
The best test is a test that gets done, right?
We have options for screening, and there's a test that's right for everybody. And that's one of been the central messages of 80x18. This is not just a colonoscopy campaign. There are multiple screening tests, including simple take-home stool tests, do in the privacy of your own home, that are proven effective. They're on all the guidelines, and they're great options for screening. Okay,
so you gave us 2, I guess, examples, right? In just a few minutes, we're going to hear from some of those stories and friends who have gone through a battle and then what's been like, and what they want everyone to know, because it's so important to hear their personal cancer journey and what they've gone through. So I know Angie's going to speak with a few of them. So you covered 2 facts. What is the 3rd?
Well, the 3rd is no skeptics allowed, because we are doing this. We are making a difference, and screening rates are going up around the country. Just from 2014 to 2016, data just published by the CDC, over 3 million additional people screened. And remember that when we launched 2018, we'd been on a 3-year plateau. No increase in screening rates. We launched this just in 2 years, 3.3 million. 10% increase in the federally qualified health centers in just 4 years. The 1,600, I already mentioned, our 1,600 partners from every walk of life who are part of this campaign. Over about 150 organizations, big organizations, who've hit 80%. And let me hit you with this final statistic. Screening rates in Medicare, as of this, in 2016, so we have 2 more years of data that we'll collect after that, 78.4%. I believe we will hit 80% of the Medicare population.
That's amazing progress. I mean, did you guys, of course, we're not skeptics. We knew we were going to make it because we've been hitting the ground across the nation and even the globe, right? I mean, we're here. I mean, those are amazing statistics.
Incredible.
Those are good statistics,
They're
and I
awesome.
love that you want to share.
And they're due to everybody who's in this room and
watching.
That's what's real. It happens. Ultimately, you screen one person at a time. I mean, it's not something. There's no other way to it. So it's so many people, so many organizations combining together to make this reality.
That's fantastic. So thank you so much. I know we've got a full pack show, So when we come back, Angie will be speaking to two amazing survivors, and she'll also be talking to Craig Campbell. Yes, the Keep Those Kisses Coming Craig Campbell, that wonderful singer. He may have a surprise up his sleeve, so don't go anywhere. In fact, for those of you watching on Facebook Live, make sure you take a moment to like the show, or even better, share it with your friends. Use that hashtag 80by2018 and hashtag CRC Coast to Coast. Hashtag share your screen. We'll be right back.
Wonder if you should get tested for colorectal cancer?
Yes. Is it really that common?
It is. Of cancers affecting both men and women, it's the second leading cancer killer in the U.S.
But I don't have symptoms.
It doesn't always cause symptoms, especially early on. So don't wait. If you're 50 or older, it's time.
But it doesn't run in my family.
Most often, colorectal cancer occurs in people with no family history. And think about this. Screening helps prevent the disease.
Really? How?
Screening helps find precancerous polyps so they can be removed. Remove the polyp, prevent the cancer. Screening helps find colorectal cancer early, too, when treatment works best.
Oh man, that test.
There's more than one screening test. You have options. Talk to your doctor to find the one that's right for you. Because colorectal cancer screening really does save lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I am so happy to be here with my good friends. We're going to talk about the power of storytelling, and our guests are Craig Campbell, country music artist, Terry Gree, stage 4 survivor, triathlete, amazing story, Thomas Lopez, stage 3 colorectal cancer survivor, longtime volunteer for the American Cancer Society. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
That's awesome. Craig, we've worked together for a long time. You've
have.
been a national spokesperson for Fight Colorectal Cancer for 4 years now, and this is a personal mission for you. Can you tell us a little bit how you got involved in raising awareness around colorectal cancer?
Yeah, my father was 36 when he died with colon cancer. And the older I got, the more questions I had as to why he was taken from me. And then when I met my wife and we decided to have a family of our own, it really started sinking in to me that I didn't know my dad, and I didn't want my kids to not know who their dad was. So I started doing some investigating with the reason he was taken from me, and I found out that had he known a few things about colorectal cancer, there's a good chance he could still be here. So that's the reason I decided to start doing what I could to raise awareness about getting screened and the preventability of colorectal cancer. And it's as easy as just getting screened in time and finding the polyps and being prevented. So that's just how it all started for me.
Now you've been screened, right?
Yes.
Because you have a family history.
Right.
Best sleep of your life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's awesome. When every time I wake up, I feel like I've been asleep for hours and hours. But yeah, it's some good sleep.
That's great. That's great. Well, we want to thank you for being such a champion, and I know you've used not just your voice and your story, but you've also written a song for colorectal cancer survivors. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about what inspired you to do that?
Yeah, the inspiration actually came from you as far as Angie. She called and said, "Do you have a song that has a message of strength, power, and just being able to endure?" And I didn't have one, and I said, "But I'm a songwriter, so I can write one." And as close as I am to the colorectal cancer fight, you know, I mean, I wasn't in the trenches like a good friend of ours, Rose, was. And I just had this idea. I said, man, there's nobody that can tell a story about being able to weather the storm better than Rose. So I called her back and I said, do you think Rose would come to Nashville and help me write this song? And she said, I don't care if she wants to or not. She's coming. So we got together and we wrote a song called Stronger Than That, and I think I'm going to play it for
You are. So everyone really stay tuned because there is something special coming.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for just being so committed. We really appreciate it.
It's the least I can do.
Now, not everyone knows there are over 1 million colorectal cancer survivors in the U.S., and I think that survivors have such a powerful voice in helping people understand, one, they are at risk for colorectal cancer and that need to be screened. Now, Terry, you have done amazing work. You may recognize Terry. She was on the Ellen Show for completing the World Championship Kona Ironman
Correct.
on treatment.
Correct.
But tell us, how did you get through this after your diagnosis? How did you use this inspirational story to encourage others to be screened?
So immediately, I was diagnosed at age 48. I have 2 older sisters that are 13 and 14 years older than me. So they were in their early 60s, and they were screened right after me, and one had stage 3 colon cancer. So I knew right away that I wasn't going to keep quiet about this. And obviously, screening and prevention, that was the answer, that if people didn't go get screened, it wouldn't happen. And then I didn't want to give up. I wanted to continue to live my life as normally as I could, and competing and doing triathlons was part of that. And I sent my story into Ironman. I was able to be an inspirational athlete at the World Championship. My story became well known, and then it dawned on me, okay, I can inspire others and I can save lives at the same time. And that has been my focus ever since. And it'll be 8 years. I've been on treatment and had surgeries, and thank you. And so my main message is all around hope. And there's a strength in numbers, and I think the more we tell our stories, the more we get others to tell their stories, the bigger community we can form, the more powerful we'll be. And Fight CRC has been just fantastic in doing that. And I'm just proud to be here today.
Thank you for being here. And if you haven't read her book, Powered by Hope, you should, because I read it on the plane, and I mean, I was so inspired by what you've done. And I think that what survivors bring to the table is really important, because the reality is, if you get screened, you don't have to go through treatment.
Correct.
And you need to talk to your doctor about your signs and symptoms. So thank you so much for sharing.
Don't die of embarrassment.
That's true. This is very true. So within the colorectal cancer community, we know that there is a rise in incidence rates for the Hispanic Latino community, for the Asian American community, for the African American community. So I think it's so important to show the diversity of stories and how people have been impacted by colorectal cancer. So I'm so thankful, Thomas, that you're here with us to share how you were diagnosed.
Well, I waited 9 months to go to the doctor from the first time I noticed a symptom, stolen blood in my stool. So 9 months later, I go to the doctor, and here I am sharing my story now. We in the Latino community, we always wait to go to the doctors when it's already too late. And I want to preach out there, don't wait when it's too late. Be able to talk about it just like me, but even though I waited a long time to do it. It was a tough journey. I thought I was going to die. I have a son that was just starting high school, and I just prayed every night to God that please let me live long enough to be a Life-Saving graduate from high school, and I'm here talking about it now 4.5 years later.
That's great. That is great. Now you have been amazing, definitely. And you've been a longtime supporter and a volunteer for the American Cancer Society. And I heard that your son wrote you a letter during this journey.
Right before I started my chemo, he sent me a message toward an Instagram that just changed my outlook. It just made me stronger. It just made me want to live, made me want to fight.
And if you probably see it right
That's
now.
it right there. That's one of the reasons why I'm here.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. I think one thing that this whole panel shares is your moms and dads, and that taking care of yourself for your kids and talking about your family history is just so incredibly important. For the Latino community, Spanish-speaking community, could you maybe speak Spanish for us and give them a tip on if you're on the fence about being screened for colorectal cancer, what would you say?
In Spanish.
In Spanish, please. I love it.
No tengan miedo de ir al doctor. Vayan con tiempo. Si tienen un síntoma de cualquier cosa, vayan. No esperen, porque esperar va a ser muy tarde.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And thank you all for sharing your stories. Now, for those who are watching on Facebook, we have an incredible audience of leaders who are really making an impact in colorectal cancer. And Desiree is in the audience.
Hi there, Angie. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to our survivors and Craig for sharing those very moving stories. Wonderful message of hope, and make sure you're getting screened. So joining us right now, we have Dr. Zuri Morel, who is both a doctor at Cedars-Sinai Colorectal Cancer Center and also an American Cancer Society volunteer. Dr. Morel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're so happy that you're here with us. We just heard those three guests talk about, their stories of hope and why it's so important to get screened. Talk to us as a doctor of, why family members should not, make sure they tell their family about their family history.
So it's very important because I think the power of prevention for this disease is you share the fact, for instance, that if you had a colonoscopy and you had polyps, you share that with the family. And that's number one. That's very important. You have to take the stigma out of that. That should be dinner conversations. A very personal experience is my father got his colonoscopy and actually shared with me how he had 10 polyps. Now, that's something we don't talk about. We talk about if you have cancer, get screened, but polyps, that many polyps, that puts one's family member potentially at risk. I'm 43 years old. African Americans should get colonoscopies between the age of 45 to 50. I went and had mine done because of the number of his polyps at 43. Now, I don't eat a lot of red meat. I try to exercise. I do all the right things, yet they found a large 2-centimeter polyp in me. And you know how hard it is for me to do my own colonoscopy. That was difficult, but it was done. But they found a 2-centimeter polyp that and it was a dysplastic polyp that could have been cancer if I would have waited. So really, you have to share the stories because when you get a colonoscopy, you're not just saving your life. You're helping affect the life of your family members. And it's very important that we share these stories with each other. And my daughters, they're 11 and 9, and they say, Dad, if I have to hear about your polyp one more time. So it's very important that we share the stories.
I think you bring up such a good point to not have that stigma and share your medical history with your family and let them know. And we're glad that you're okay and that your father is okay. If you could convey one message to someone who was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, what would that be?
I would say that there is a lot of reasons to be hopeful that not only will you survive, but you'll thrive. And that's what we want here. It's not just about survival at this point, it's about thriving. And with new treatments, with whether that's surgery, chemotherapy, things of that nature, people are surviving, but more importantly, they're thriving. And that's what I wanted to say.
I love that message, thriving. Thank you so much to you, Dr. Moreau, and everyone at Cedars-Sinai Colorectal Cancer Center for everything you do, and thank you for volunteering at the American Cancer Society. Thanks for joining us and giving us your insight. We're going to send it back to Angie, who's got Craig on stage with, he's going to do something special for us, right?
Oh, yes. We have a very special treat. I'm so honored to introduce him. He's going to be sharing his musical talents with us. He's totally made me a country music fan. So thank you for being here, and take it away.
All right. So I pride myself in the songs that I do get privileged to write with some other amazing songwriters in Nashville. That there's songs that we write that we specifically reach for and to write that mean something, that have what we in Nashville call meat on the bone. And then there's songs that we write just for fun and party songs and whatnot. But my favorite songs that I've had a hand in writing are those songs that have a story, have meaning, special. And when I wrote this next song, I realized it was a pretty special song, and it was I didn't realize how special it was until I had the pleasure of putting it out to country radio and hearing all the stories from everybody else that was touched by this song. So I'm gonna play a little bit for. I'll play the whole thing. My grandpa taught me about buck knives and shotguns, how to cast an old Zeb coat, and how to work a stick shift. He taught me the Bible about all 12 disciples, and he made sure that I know there's life after this with pearly gates, streets of gold. He said if I just believe, that's where I'll go. But Lord, when I die, I want to live on the outskirts of heaven, where there's dirt roads for miles, hay in the fields, and fish in the river. Where there's dogwood trees and honeybees, and blue skies and green grass forever. So Lord, when I die, I want to live on the outskirts of heaven. Now it says in the King James, in the Almighty's kingdom, he mentions a mansion that he's built just for me. Now I'd gladly trade it for a farmhouse with acreage and a backyard that's shaded and a squeaky front porch swing. That's where I wanna hang my wings when I die. I wanna live on the outskirts of heaven, where there's dirt roads for miles, hay in the fields, and fish in the river. And where there's dogwood trees and honeybees, and blue skies and green grass forever. So Lord, when I die, I wanna live on the outskirts of heaven. Yeah, the good Lord knows me, he knows I need blue skies and green grass forever. So Lord, when I die, I want to live on the outskirts of heaven. Yeah, when I die, I want to live on the outskirts of heaven.
Woo!
Thank you.
Beautiful. I mean, you want to sing anything else?
Well, I was gonna had just Rose on my mind and thinking about playing.
You want to. Are you guys okay with maybe just a little bit more?
Yeah, just okay.
A
Yeah.
little bit more? I'll stay up here with you because I like this song.
So yeah, this is the song I wrote with Rose, and if for those of you that never got to meet Rose, you absolutely missed out on a great soul. But we wrote this, and I think it's the perfect song for what we're trying to say here at Fight CRC. So I want to play it for you. it ain't over yet. And all this is one face you'll never forget. You can do your best to bring me down, throw the first punch, try to take me out, surround me with fear, but the fear won't shake my ground. Let me tell you something you should know. I got a fighter's heart and a winning soul. So bring it on, just know I won't back down. 'Cause I'm stronger, I'm so much stronger, I'm stronger than that. Now there's a million of me and only one of you. So what you got, what you gonna do? Listen close, let me make this clear. There ain't none of us want you here. You can do your best to bring me down, throw the first punch, try to take me out, surround me with fear, but the fear won't shake my ground. Let me tell you something you should know. I got a fighter's heart and a winning soul. So bring it on, just know I won't back down. 'Cause I'm stronger, I'm so much stronger, I'm stronger than that. So cancer, get on out of here. You can do your best to bring me down, stroke the first punch, try to take me out, surround me with fear, but the fear won't shake my ground. Let me tell you something you should know. I got a fighter's heart and a winning soul. So bring it on, just know I won't back down. 'Cause I'm stronger, I'm so much stronger. Yeah, we're stronger, 1 million stronger. We're stronger than that.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was wonderful and beautiful. But for those of you at home, keep watching on Facebook Live because we've got Chicky Baby, Telemundo star, coming up, and the hits keep coming. So stay with us and like everything.
My routine colonoscopy revealed a polyp, and it was removed. That saved me from a future colorectal cancer diagnosis.
My father was young when he lost his battle with colorectal cancer. Therefore, I started screening in my early 20s.
Colon cancer can be found at any age. Tell your doctor if you have a family history.
5 years ago at age 38, I chose not to ignore my GI symptoms. I spoke to my doctor, and now I'm a colorectal cancer survivor.
Know the signs. Know your family history. Don't delay screening. hcb2.org.
¿Se pregunta si debería hacerse una prueba de detección de cáncer colorectal?
¿Es muy común?
Sí, es la segunda causa de muerte por cáncer en los Estados Unidos.
Pero no tengo síntomas.
No siempre hay síntomas y las pruebas de detección pueden ayudar a prevenirlo.
¿Ah, sí? ¿Cómo?
Las pruebas ayudan a detectar pólipos para que puedan ser removidos.
Pero la prueba...
Existen varias pruebas de detección. Si tiene 50 años o más, hable con su médico. Las pruebas de detección de cáncer colorectal salvan vidas.
¿Sabías que el cáncer del colon es el segundo cáncer más común entre los latinos? Pero se puede evitar. Si tienes 50 años o más, visita a tu médico y hazte un examen. Infórmate al 1-800-227-2345 o visita su página cancer.org.
All right, thank you so much for that. For folks who are just joining us now, we are live here at Smashbox Studios in Los Angeles, and we are kicking off Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. and we are so excited for that. And joining us now, we have Dr. Lisa Richardson, Director of the CDC's Division of Cancer Prevention and Control in Atlanta. Welcome, Dr. Richardson. Nice to see you. And Stephanie Chiqui Baby Jimonides, Emmy award-winning TV and radio personality and host of Telemundo 52's Acceso Total. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here in behalf of Telemundo 52. And actually, I have to say, everybody looks amazing. Wearing blue today.
They do.
So I'm
We
very
have a
happy.
good-looking crowd. I know if everyone is, seeing it live and is here in person. So make sure you like us on Facebook and make sure you do those hashtags, hashtag 80x2018, hashtag CRC coast to coast, hashtag share your screen. So many hashtags, but we have to spread the word and why we are here. We are all so energized about spreading the word of cancer prevention and getting screened for colorectal cancer. So Stephanie, we're going to start with you. We are so excited. And again, also it's International Women's Day. So we have two powerhouses here spreading the important message of getting screened. So let's start with you. Talk to us how Telemundo has been supporting the effort to get more people screened in our Hispanic Latino communities. It's really crucial to get the word out.
Obviously, I think one of the great things I love of working with my company is that we try to work with the community as much as we can. But we also, as media, have the responsibility to inform, empower, and enrich about all the health issues that surround us Latinos. And as you know, cancer, colon cancer, it's super important for us to give them the information to how to prevent it. So there's so many things that we try to do for our audience, our Latinos and Hispanic community to get a better quality. And one of the things that we do is we try to work with organizations like the American Cancer Association and in society to give them the tips and give them the guidance to see what they could do to prevent cancer in this case. Go ahead.
And one of those, we just saw that wonderful PSA that you did, that public service announcement in Spanish and reaching out to the community and to your audience because you have such a big following, here in the United States and globally. Why was doing that PSA for the American Cancer Society and, so important in spreading the word about colorectal cancer screening?
It's super important because, us Hispanics we are a very rich culture, but we're also very conservative. So in a way, we want to take that message of taking out the stigma on, you need to go and check yourself. Me personally, I don't like going to see doctors. And I come from a father that was a doctor. In our community, it's so hard to tell them, go to the doctor and just get a checkup. You go until there's an emergency. And unfortunately, with Latinos, you are the experts here, you know the statistics, and we get diagnosed in an earlier stage. And when we are diagnosed, most of the cases are in a later stage. So the mortality rate goes up. And the key here is prevent it. And how can we prevent it? Colonoscopy, and go to your checkup with your doctor.
That's right. We always say that the best test is the test that gets done, and there's even take-home tests, but talk to your doctor, talk to your family, find out your family history. We want to bring in Dr. Richardson from the CDC, and CDC has just released some new data showing the progress that Dr. Wender mentioned earlier in the broadcast. But to Stephanie's point, we need to do better. We always have to do better. And there is a stigma. We keep hearing that, from our survivors, from our other medical experts. What do we need to do, and we want to be paying more attention when we talk to folks about colorectal screening and the importance of it?
So for me, I think at CDC, trying to develop materials and messages that resonate with people where they are. Everyone lives in a context, not freewheeling or as separate from your community, as was just said. I think the biggest problem that we found or challenge that we found in the data, I think, other than what Rich mentioned, is that younger people, younger 50s aren't getting screened. And you're supposed to start at 50, and it turns out that 50 to 55, it's less than half have been screened. So within where disparities are or differences are, that really is the place that we have to go, I think, and concentrate. And not be embarrassed because this is a test that it's quite embarrassing for some people.
Well, and one of our survivors said, don't die from embarrassment. That was
exactly.
such a message that hits so close to home.
Exactly.
And also reaching out, to the rural communities. And I know Dr. Merrill talked about the African American communities too, all the diverse communities, and, and the Asian American communities, all those, right? To making sure they're getting out there.
So that's back to what I said previously. That's really where we have to go to. How do you go into a community to, as Stephanie does, giving the messages in the language that most people speak or understand? There are nuances in culture that we may not necessarily appreciate when we give general messages. So at CDC, those are some of the things that we're doing, trying to bring to the fore, that everyone, as I said, lives in a community, and we have to reach them where they are.
Well, the CDC has been such a launching force in making sure these initiatives, these campaigns are, being done all across the country. As Dr. Winder said, 1,600 organizations now have joined. Anything that you want our viewers to know about the CDC and this initiative, I know that we haven't said.
Well, I think that the 80 by 18, we've been angsting about 18 is here, but we're going to keep going beyond 80% by 2018 into the future, and that's part of what we're relaunching here today, going the coast to coast, and what we're doing here with the colon cancer screening, getting a message out.
Yeah, it doesn't end here, folks.
No.
We're going to continue to keep hearing from us, and we're going to get more organizations on board. So it's very exciting. So thank you so much, Dr. Richardson. Real quick, Stephanie, are you able to give us a quick message in Spanish? We saw your PSA, but if you could tell the audience and the folks watching on Facebook Live and here, right here in the studios, one message in Spanish, what's important to you about getting screened?
Sí, definitivamente, con mucho gusto. Es mi primer idioma, así que me sale más fácil. Quiero enviarle un saludo a todos los latinos. Es importante que nos dejemos a un lado de todos estos tabús. Es importante que vayamos con el doctor, que nos hagamos estos chequeos médicos. Curiosamente, en las últimas semanas hemos aprendido que hacerte la colonoscopía puede ser desde tu casa y puede ser muy fácil. Hablaba con un compañero de trabajo, ya una colonoscopía no duele, no es el tabú de ir con el doctor, con el médico. Y acuérdense, latinos, el comer saludable y el hacer ejercicio, ese es el primer paso para tener una vida más sana. Así que pues vamos y los esperamos en la Feria de la Salud este fin de semana, que Telemundo estará presente ahí, Telemundo 52 en el Centro de Convenciones, para que aprendan más sobre este cáncer y pues cómo prevenirlo, por supuesto.
Ay, gracias. Ese mensaje es perfecto. Gracias, gracias. Thank you so much, Dr. Richardson. Thank you, Chucky Baby, aka Stephanie. I couldn't have said it better myself, so thank you. So don't go anywhere. Dr. Rich Winder will be back with our next guest in just a minute. But first, we have a special message for all of you from Katie Couric, who had wanted to join us here today. She was with us last year in New York City at the Hard Rock Cafe, but she's sending her regards from the Big Apple.
Hey everybody, I am so sorry I'm not able to join you and all my friends from the American Cancer Society and Fight Colorectal Cancer in LA to kick off Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month from the West Coast. Unfortunately, right now I'm locked in an editing room in New York putting the final touches on a 6-part documentary series I've been working on with National Geographic for the past 6 months or so. So everyone tune in, please. Meanwhile, it's hard to believe that it's March again, right? I know in this hour you've been hearing stories from so many courageous people who have faced this disease and who've been talking about why colorectal cancer screening is so important. I hope you've learned about screening, listening to your body, and even how to twist a few arms when necessary. Screening is such an important part of taking care of ourselves and doing all we can to be there for our families. I know to some people it's kind of daunting when it comes to getting a colonoscopy. We have to continue to demystify the procedure. So please keep this under your hats, as it were, for the time being. But in mid-March, I have a date with the just-turned 50 mystery man, and drum roll, please. I'm taking him for a colonoscopy. Doesn't that sound like a good time? The Stand Up to Cancer team and I are going to be all over social media this month, not only about my mystery date, but also about the importance of getting screened, period. So thank you for everything you all do in this fight, and thank you in advance for helping to spread awareness. We'll be back at you soon. Bye.
You know, it just would not be a celebratory event without Katie Couric. She's been a champion for this for many years. In many ways, Katie's the one who launched this entire awareness campaign, National Medal of Honor winner of the American Cancer Society for the Katie Couric Effect. So thanks, Katie, for being there. Joining me on the stage right now are three leaders who've been making an incredible difference. We have Dr. Sam Pace right over there, a physician champion for Mississippi, who's not only an 80x18 National Achievement awardee, he's also a colorectal cancer survivor, so you're going to have quite a story there. We have Daryl Hill, who is president of UPS, Northern Plains District, and Robin Sunday Allen from the Oklahoma City Indian Clinic. And Robin and her team not only are an Achievement Award winner from the NCCRT, they were our grand prize winner this year, and you're going to hear exactly why they deserve this extraordinary recognition. Hey, but Dr. Pace, let's start with you. You know, so I'm just trying to imagine what this is like. You're a gastroenterologist, and you're about fighting colorectal cancer. You're doing these screenings, and then you were diagnosed. And not only I just need to know what that was like, but also how you've channeled that in your efforts.
Thanks, Richard. September the 26th, 2011, routine day. In fact, it was routine except I did procedures that morning and had a colonoscopy scheduled for that afternoon. Don't worry about the bathrooms and GI labs, we have plenty. So my prep was not a problem. 4 o'clock, I wake, and my good friend and Dr. Guyton comes in and says, Sam, you have colon cancer. I'd had no symptoms, no problems. Had previous colonoscopy, everything was fine. All right, let's get it done. Surgery. Good news. It appears to be confined to the colon. Stage 2A, T3NO. No nodes, positive. All right, good. No chemo. July 2013, strike 2. I wasn't in the 90% group. I was in the 10% group. I had a recurrence, lung mets. Whoa, being a gastroenterologist, I know what that means. First day of chemotherapy. IV's hooked up. I'm talking to the nurses that I know. And this voice from the other side of the cubicle says, Dr. Pace, is that you? I said, yes, and I stood up and went around. Dr. Pace, you don't remember me. You diagnosed me with colon cancer 20 years ago. Well, stage 4 was a kick in the gut, but that suddenly changed when that patient said, thank you, I'm still alive. And I knew then that I was going to get busy. We were going to do what I needed to do to take care of this problem. And I was going to become an even stronger advocate.
And I know you have. If you had one piece of advice, and I know all the work you've done in Mississippi, that really you think has been motivating and made a difference, what would that one piece of advice be?
Be an advocate. I think as a colon cancer person, if you have it, one of the best medicines you can do is be an advocate, to be involved.
It's a tremendous message, and we're seeing that today, and our survivors have made such a difference. And of course, you're in a very unique position. So thanks for all you've been doing, and glad you're here to share the story with us. Let's turn to you, Daryl. You know, UPS has been committed to this fight and has made a commitment to colorectal cancer. Has done some really cool things, including very recently. So Daryl, tell us about the role of the employer and of UPS and why you're here.
Yeah, so thanks for having us, Dr. Rich. At UPS, we have over 400,000 employees. And a decent percentage of those employees fall within that range where they need to be tested. So that's why it's so important to us at UPS, because we have a decent amount of employees that fall within that range. Also, I'm proud to say that we have accepted the 80x18 challenge. We plan to drive that message far beyond 2018. Our employees and their families are certainly our most important asset at UPS. We're involved in many employee wellness programs. Early screening and prevention are some that we've really focused on, and we plan to do that in 2018 and beyond. So we're proud to be partners with the Fight CRC.
Fantastic. And we cannot say enough about the role of employers, where people work, the leaders of the companies, having them as role models and champions makes enormous difference.
Thank you so much.
So thanks. And we'll have even a little bit more to share in a moment. But Robin, I want to really learn from you because, you know, we often when we talk about the disparities, we say African American, we say Latino, Hispanic, we don't always talk about the Native American, Indian population, which is exactly what your clinic serves. So just listen to these numbers, and I'll spill the beans of why you're our national winner. The Oklahoma City Indian Clinic serves over 20,000 people and has seen screening rates jump from 14%, well below the starting point for other FQHCs, which is very typical in this population, and in just a few years to 64%, a 54% rise.
Thank you.
So what has that meant to the health of the population that you serve? What's that meant to your community? And what's really made it happen?
Well, I'll tell you, we're saving lives, and that's the business that we're in. We go to work every day to know that we're taking care of 20,000 Native Americans. And it's certainly not me. I've got a team here, and there's 180 other employees back at the clinic that dedicate their lives every single day to making the health disparities better in American Indian population. And part of that was just saying, we're going to make a difference and we're going to screen, and we too are going to take a pledge to screen 80% of our population by 2018. So that was the impetus to get us off what I call high center and get those rates up.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for what you're doing and for implementing evidence-based interaction. We've learned that across the country. None of this happens by accident. It's following what are proven interventions to make it happen. And thanks to your team as well, who's made it happen. Let me finish with you, Daryl. I brought my own UPS truck, but you cannot carry very much in this. And there's another UPS truck sitting right near here, just outside that door. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a good-looking package car out there. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're proud to partner with Fight CRC, the American Cancer Society, Exact Sciences, and the Mayo Clinic. And that package car is all about driving awareness and prevention. So we're proud to be partners with these folks.
Fantastic. Driving toward prevention, coast to coast. I love it. Fantastic. Sam, Robin, Daryl, congratulations to each of you. Thanks for the amazing work, what you're doing. And here's what I hope, and I suspect all of you hope. It's great to see examples, but what we're really interested in is moving this forward. And I hope the examples that you've shown, the inspiration that you provided, push others. Keep nudging them forward to be screened personally, to push other clinics to do the kind of work that you've been doing, implement the evidence-based interventions, and keep this drive going to increase colorectal cancer screening rates to 80% and beyond. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
We'll be right back to share our closing thoughts in just a minute.
If you remember playing with these guys, it's time to talk to your doctor about a colon cancer screening. Colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths for men and women in Idaho. The good news is that early detection is possible with a simple screening, and early detection saves lives. Who should get screened? Men and women 50 and over. How? Talk to your doctor about the kind of tests that would be best for you, including simple take-home options. Learn more at cancer.dhw.idaho.gov.
I'm Scott Lagasse Jr. I'm a professional race car driver and stage 1 colon cancer survivor. You may not realize it, but colon and rectal cancers make up the #2 cancer killer in the U.S. Screening can prevent the cancer or catch it early, like in my case. My cancer was 90% curable because I was lucky and we caught it early. Don't ignore your body. This can happen to anyone, even if you're under 50 like me. For more info, visit fightcrc.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Darrell Gray, a gastroenterologist at The Ohio State Wexner Medical Center,
and the Deputy Director of the Center for Cancer Health Equity at The Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center. I'm excited to tell you about some of the incredible work we're doing in partnership with community members and organizations and federally qualified health centers in response to the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable's 80% by 2018 call to action, and in an effort to move the needle a little closer to a world free of colorectal cancer. And I'm going to do so in 30 seconds. In 2015, we started the PACE program, and as a part of this program, we provided guided and scripted tours through an inflatable colon, in which we discuss colorectal cancer and colorectal cancer screening. We provide Walk with the Doc grocery store tours, in which we discuss how to eat healthy on a budget. We partner with the local YMCA to provide community lectures and exercise classes. We host an annual Cancer Disparities Conference for healthcare providers and advocates. We have an annual colorectal cancer phone bank in partnership with a local news station. Over the past 3 years, we have provided greater than 120 low to no-cost colonoscopies to uninsured and underinsured Ohioans. And if you haven't recognized it yet, this is all a team effort.
We love it. That's fantastic. So what a show it's been. We have learned so much, and we can't thank all of our guests enough for everything they're doing to making sure we are spreading the message of getting colorectal cancer screenings. The best test is the test that gets done. So we are so excited to our awardees. We are so excited being here live in Los Angeles at Smashbox Studios and for all the wonderful organizations. But before we say goodbye, I have to ask Rich, I mean, who are all these wonderful people standing behind us? I know you interviewed some of them in your last segment.
Desiree, these are the winners of the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable's 80 by 2018 National Achievement Awards. Let me introduce you to our friends from Ultimate Health Services, from raise your hand when I call you out, from Ameren, the Ohio Academy of Family Physicians, Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center, Dr. Samuel Pace, and our grand prize winner, Oklahoma City Indian Clinic. Amazing! Give it up.
Fantastic, fantastic. Congratulations. I mean, we would not be reaching these amazing goals without them and all the 1,600 organizations that have joined this momentum. We have to make sure the momentum keeps going, you know, that everyone continues to sign that 80% pledge, you know, so coast to coast and even beyond, we're going to make this happen, and we're going to make it happen, right? Any quick last final thoughts, because it's so exciting that we're here.
Yeah, you know, I want to end with this. None of the progress that we've made has happened by accident. It's been intentional, it's been driven by passion, but it's the product of hard work of thousands and thousands and thousands of individuals and people, ultimately coming down to one action. We cannot live with some communities being at 80%, some health systems there and others not. This is about our entire nation joining together so that every community becomes an 80% colorectal cancer screen community, and we no longer have to face colorectal cancer as the second leading cause of cancer-related death in the United States.
So true. Real quick, Angie, last thought.
Oh, this has been a wonderful, wonderful kickoff to March Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Fight Colorectal Cancer is so honored to be working alongside the American Cancer Society, the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable. We couldn't do it without Exact Sciences, Mayo Clinic, and UPS. I mean, truly, I think what it really underscores is we are united behind 80% and beyond. So thank you so much. And for those of you that are at home, wear your blue.
That's right.
Get on social media and get someone screened this month.
Make sure you like us on Facebook. And really, as they just said, it takes a village, and we can't thank you enough. And thank you to our survivors who are spreading the message to getting screened. Thank you to our awardees. We are so proud of you, and we are so glad you joined us. Thank you to our audience, and thank you. Bye from Los Angeles. We'll see you later. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
So great.